We're away. All right, so g'day guys. Matt here from Auto One Browse Plains.
And I'm Lachlan again. Glad to have you back for another episode.
Garage edition.
Yeah, well, couldn't make it down to the store today.
Yeah. We're doing it on my weekend. And you're working.
Yep, well.
But you pop by on the way through.
Only a half day, hopefully, and I thought I'd start the day with something fun, so chatting to you guys again.
Awesome. And we've got our coffees. Yeah. It's early in the morning, and let's get it started. So where do you want to start?
I think we should touch on news first. So
cool.
I'm going to keep this pretty structured and try and actually have some flow to it. But let's start with the paywalls that we've seen with Mercedes and BMW lately.
Yeah, so trend emerging, and it seems like the German manufacturers are really pushing this at the moment. So the latest one I've seen is Mercedes. And I didn't catch how much it was, but on one of their newer electric vehicles, there's a paywall there, and it's a yearly subscription, and you pay the subscription, and you get, it's between 20 and 30% more power, which equates to, I think it's a bit over a second on your 0 to 100 time.
Yeah, that's what I hear, and I think from when I saw it, they also unlock a little bit more battery capacity as well.
As I say.
So, especially if you're in your electric vehicle, to decrease your acceleration time by over a second, and to increase your battery range by 30 or 40%.
Well, you can sort of make up all that extra juice you're burning,
and I think,
with that. Yeah,
I think the price I saw was about $1,100 or $1,700. So pretty exy for every year for a car that you already paid for.
Interesting, because they're all playing with their business models at the moment, and it's very attractive to have a business model where you just got money coming in regularly like that.
Yeah, but I do wonder how many people steer away from the German manufacturers
because of it,
or if they've got such a good brand name. And the same with BMW. They've recently introduced, was it an $18 subscription to have heated seats?
Yep, the heated seat subscription, that's on as well. And I don't know, so I've recently got a new computer where the old computer at work, it died. It was I think it was about 15 years old, had a good life. We had to replace it. And then just looking at, like, if I want Microsoft Word or something like that, I got to do Microsoft 365. It's not even Office 365 now, it's Microsoft 365. And I've got to pay a yearly subscription for that service. So they're all trying to plug into that. They all got, their software engineers working on a regular basis, so they've got to pay them and all this sort of stuff. But me as a consumer, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to buy Office 2019, and that'll do me. I'm happy with that. But I think maybe with cars, it might be, you obviously you'll get some people who'll take Mercedes and BMW up on these offers. But you're going to get people going out and finding other ways. If it's an electric car, they're going to hack it. They're going to find a way to get in there and release this performance probably a much cheaper way.
Well, that said, the debacle with Teslas over time is that if you don't use the Tesla service and you actually go through a third party, then Tesla is likely to lock the car down, so you can't use their fast charge points.
There you go.
I wonder if by bypassing BMW's heated seat paywall, that you become ineligible for warranty. Yep. Well, it'll be interesting to see what comes of that. We'll have to have a bit of a look into it. I completely understand as well. At least with Microsoft in particular, you're paying for something that isn't on the computer, but especially with the heated seats and the battery packs. That's raw material that's gone into the car. Yeah. But no matter how frustrating it is, it's not as frustrating as our next topic today, the Firestone tyre recall. So,
yeah, tell us a little bit about that. I heard a little bit, but I don't know much. So,
well, it's a pretty interesting story, and the recall itself is, a little bit deadly, but not particularly interesting. But where it becomes interesting is the backstory. So in the early 2000s, I believe, Firestone was forced to recall, I can't recall if it's 14.1.
You can't recall the recall?
I can't recall the recall. I can't remember if it's 14.1 million tyres or 14.1 million vehicles.
Yep.
But only the Ford Explorer.
Okay, all right. So this is Ford Explorer in the States?
Yeah. Well,
gotcha.
We did get them here briefly as well, didn't we?
Yep, we did.
Must have been that one as well.
There you go. Okay.
But apparently, the Firestone tyres were likely to delaminate for the tread to separate. While driving, which would cause a rollover. So actually, a large number, I think around 270 people, perished due to this recall. Which is really a shame. But I was reading through the details, and it sounds like both manufacturers had a big part to play in it. So Firestone tyres had a couple of manufacturing defects in the factory that they were making this particular tyre. But at the same time, Ford had just released their new Explorer, first generation Explorer. It was based on the Ranger platform. So we know the Ranger Ute here. Apparently they hadn't done a couple of few of the groundwork things to solve the Ranger's high centre of gravity and heavy weight. And they're
common issue with those sort of cars.
Exactly.
I mean, you see the tests all the time, like whether it's a Hilux or whatever, and they zip through a little slalom course, and they get a little bit fancy there at the best of times, and then they're doing this as well.
Yeah, well, that's I think you're talking about the Scandinavian moose test, which is one of my favourite things to watch.
I think that was me. I haven't been to Scandinavia lately,
but no, I think their band-aid solution to the poor handling was to lower the tyre pressures to 26 psi.
Yep.
Which saw, and get this, tyre temperatures increased by over 50 degrees Celsius above ambient temperature.
That's why you're getting your
delaminated, and then rolled over. And even better, so instead of fixing the problem, in the second generation Explorer, Ford tried to address their fuel economy concerns by making the roof weaker, which meant that in a rollover, the roof would crumble and trap any occupants.
So they're likely to roll.
They're likely to roll.
And then they got these big tyres that are low pressure, that are creating, they're going to require more energy to drive you down the highway or whatever.
On a heavy car, and
so not overly efficient. So to gain the efficiency, rather than fix the tyres and centre of gravity and all that, centre of gravity is related to this, but they lighten the roof.
Which
will bring your centre of gravity down, but there's still a high centre of gravity car compared to your normal cars, and they're out there not fixing the real issue. And
they lightened the roof,
like a tin can.
And actually they did change the suspension slightly, which effectively raised the centre of gravity.
Oh no, really?
Yeah, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So the recall itself, not too interesting, but the situation around it, and Firestone and Ford both ended up trying to sue each other for damages.
Oh really? Yeah.
And somehow Ford walked away just about scot-free from it.
Oh, okay. But the Firestone, they're the ones that ended up worse off, eh?
Well, when was the last time you saw a Firestone tyre?
Yeah, I think it's more of an American thing, isn't it?
Well, almost every Ford from, I think, about the 1930s to the 1990s was fitted with Firestone.
But not now?
Yep.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, big mistake. Like, just a whole line. And you know what it reminds me of? Fight Club. Remember the scene where he's sitting in the plane next to someone explaining his job?
Yep. I mean, I wish I'd seen it because this would make a lot of sense to me, but I'm a bit too uncultured for that.
Yeah. Oh, well, I think he's just explaining how they calculate whether they move forward with that risk. So, and look, we don't know what situation Ford or Firestone were in when they entered this.
Yep.
But in the movie,
almost sounds like a Carlos Ghosn situation.
Yeah. In the movie, they say there's a calculation, and whether it's good or bad, they work it out, and if it's commercial, they'll go ahead with it, which is probably not the right idea.
No, you'd hope that some companies can behave better than that.
Yeah, that's right. Oh dear. Well, what else have we got?
Well, I wanted to talk about some of the service items as well today. We actually got a couple of answers back from our questions from the previous video, so luckily the manufacturers didn't bat us away with that.
Yeah. So just as a reminder, you've got, the first one was Ryco, and the question was, does it clog? Is it more likely to clog because it's doing finer filtering? And the other one was about the service life. So 15,000 kilometres. More and more cars these days are doing 15,000 anyway. So they're saying, well, what's the difference between a typical filter for that car and then this one? And they're saying, well, their entry-level filter, their normal filters, they're built to suit the car. So it's whatever the car requires, that's what it is. So if it's 15,000 kilometres, that's what they build. But the Syntec one will have that as well as a higher efficiency rate. So it's 99.98 efficiency.
Yeah, so I mean, that's pretty interesting. So basically what they've said is that their normal filters will go to 15,000 Ks in a vehicle that's designed for that. But they're a better filtration overall. Yeah. So, I mean, that's still maybe an upside if you're a bit of an enthusiast and you care a bit about your car. But I was interested more so about the lack of clogging, or the less likely to clog. Because to my mind, you'd think a finer filtration would normally cause for more likely to clog. So I wonder how they've gotten around that. But, you know, I'm actually really happy with the answers we got back for a change. We'll keep pursuing these guys, and we'll see. Maybe we can get one of these guys on the show to explain it, or maybe we can get like a cross section or something like that. And then just get a little bit more information, because it is interesting. We want to know what goes in our cars or on our cars. Well, and even better, we want to know our impact on the environment as well. And that brings us to our Newlon question. So we looked at the Easy Squeeze bags recently. Really good product as far as it goes for usability as a mechanic and as a DIYer. But you came back with some good news or some bad news from Newlon.
So the question is those Easy Squeezy bags recyclable? And the answer is yes, until oil is put in it. It's basically, once you put oil in it, which is what they do during the packaging process, it's like contaminated, so that you can't recycle it.
So I mean,
it's landfill.
It's a bit of a shit. It's not the greatest thing, but I come to realise, as we were talking about it, that most likely the hard plastic bottles that they use anyway aren't really recyclable.
It'd be the same situation. It's got oil touching it, and I can't imagine them recycling that.
No, but
for the same reason.
But you know, it's something that hopefully we'll improve on in the future. And I've even seen some manufacturers, and Newlon with their racing series, moving to metal canisters, so they're infinitely recyclable.
Hold the phone.
Oh, really?
Yep. We'll see what happens there. But the manufacturers are trying different packaging, so that's just one of them. Penrite have their boxes. Have you seen the boxes by Penrite?
The Eco Box, is that what they call them?
Yeah. So that, as far as I know, that would be like the most environmentally friendly packaging that's out there. Yeah,
because they only use like a very thin plastic bladder.
It's like a goon bag.
Yeah,
bring
the
back
goon
memories.
Bag of oil.
Yeah.
But we wanted to talk about some other things as well. We wanted to talk about something that, especially for a DIY, is really, really important, and something that you probably don't sell as many of as you'd hope. The humble torque wrench.
Well, I'll let you talk about this one. Talk about the torque wrench. So this here is a Pro Kit, PK Tool, half-inch drive torque wrench. So over to you.
Yeah, well, I mean, torque wrench in general, a pretty simple bit of kit, allows you to make sure that you're tightening something to the right specification. So not too loose where it's going to fall off again, or not too tight where you've overstretched the material and fatigued it, or even to the point where you've just ruined the threads and pulled it right out again. And it's surprising the amount of people that I see that don't torque their wheels, even as a home gamer. And a torque wrench...
Even some workshops I hear.
Yes, I have heard that.
The Ugga machine out and away they go.
I've heard that and I have seen that, and it's not my favourite thing.
Yeah, it's a cringe moment, isn't it?
And, you know, as a home gamer, there's nothing worse than increasing the amount of work that you've got to do. So I'd really recommend, as a service item, get a 3/8 and a 1/2 inch torque wrench that does your 90% of your variety of bolts, and then make sure that you find the specification for the sump plug on your car. Find the specification for the wheel nuts on your car.
So where do you find these specifications?
Well, Dr. Google tends to have a lot of it.
Okay,
So it's one of the few times that Google might actually have the right answer. But you should be able to look in your owner's handbook as well.
They'll have those ones in there.
They might have the tightening torque for the wheels at least. And then you can find out online, for the tightening torque for the sump plug.
Or even if you're able to find like a Haynes or Max-Ellery manual or something like that.
Exactly. And if you're going to do any serious work on your car, having a Haynes manual is one of the best things you can do. Yeah. And really, like, over-tightening a sump plug and destroying a sump, that's going to turn a 1 hour job into a 6 hour job.
It'd be a nightmare. You got to think down the track, and if you're going to have a car for more than 5 minutes, you want to be doing the right thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Now we were having a look at this one, and it does have, so it's ratcheting, and it does seem to have another function on the back. So I'm not sure what size that is, but maybe it's useful.
We'll have to figure that out, but it looks to be about a 21 or a 22 mil.
See if I can hold that up. So I wonder if it's common size and how functional it is. And this one here is reversible. And then if you've ever had a play with these torque wrenches, or I'm guessing you have, but maybe you haven't, I might even come up to the camera, just show you real quick. So you've got a collar here, and on the collar you just turn it until you match your torque rating there. And that's all it is. And then you put your pressure on, and you wait until it gives you a little click. And then you're home and away, and it's all done. That's as easy as it is. And this is another one. So this is one of mine, another PK tool, and it's just a socket for my wheel nuts that's thin and has some plastic protection around there as well.
That's a pretty important one, especially as you buy a more expensive aftermarket wheel. Having a nice little bit of
I got some fancy rims and I don't want to scratch them, so that's why I got that. All right, and then on to the next one. So we're in the garage and we're just looking around. Normally in the store we've got everything, but in the garage I've got a few things, and I spend a bit of time, looking after my car and looking after Anna's car and all that sort of stuff, trying to keep them clean. And so I thought I'd talk about polishers, because polishers ain't polishers.
Yeah, well, I mean, not everything's made equal, and a lot of stuff you can very quickly do more damage than good.
You can do, and the other thing is how much time you're willing to spend doing it. So I'll just run through some of the ones that I've just got here and explain what they are. So I might start off with the Scratch X. Okay, so we have to come in on this one. So this is Maguire's Scratch X, and you can see it's a pretty heavily worn bottle, one that I use. So this one here is a bit of a spot fix. So if you get, I'll tell you a story. When I was a young lad, I was borrowing my dad's car. And he trusted me with his car. It's probably one of the first times, and I was driving through, and there was one of those boom gates for a train crossing. Train was ages away. I had all the time in the world except for this boom gate. So anyway, I gave it some. The boom gate hit the top of the car.
Oh no.
And left a white mark. So shouldn't have done it. But use this bad boy, and he was none the wiser. This removed the paint transfer from the boom gate to the car, and it turned up perfect. But any little scratch, little car park scratches, those sort of things. Just do this, do a spot repair. If you're able to, throw a bit of wax on afterwards so you got some protection on. Easy.
Sounds almost like your Ferris Bueller moment.
Yeah, about as close as I'm going to get. But, Ferrari would be nice.
Well, it really would be. But a lot of these polishes, so I spend a lot of time researching polish but never using it.
Yep.
Because the old work truck's got some poor quality paint on it. But it's surprising the difference between polishes as well. So your Scratch X might be a really rough compound, like a cutting polish.
Yeah,
But you've also got some here that are a finishing polish, like a low grade, just for the surface sort of stuff.
So I might even put these in order as I talk, just to give a bit of an idea. So like a finishing polish, something like this one here. This here is a glaze. So this is by Mother's. Bottle so worn out, it's bowing at the bottom, so it's not going to stand up on its own. But this here, while they call it a polish, it's a bit more like a filler.
Oh, really?
So a glaze is sort of something you put over there, not quite a wax. It doesn't give you the protection of a wax, but it does a little bit of filling, and it gives you that wet look. So it's the least abrasive of the polishes out there.
Yeah. If
you want to call it a polish. But that there is what gives you your fantastic look at the end of the day. So we might just slide that one down. What else have we got? I'll come back to those. Yep. Sorry.
These are something we can look at a little bit later, but I've noticed you've got a bottle here that's almost exclusively written in Japanese.
Well, let me translate for you.
Go on.
This is actually a car wash.
Yeah.
Brand is Soft 99, so these are a popular brand in Japan. And this car wash actually has a little bit of polish in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so you would use this when you're probably before you're about to put a layer of wax or whatever on your car. So if you want to clean up what's already on the car, don't expect it to remove scratches and all that sort of stuff. Just it'll just remove a very fine layer, and it'll just start prepping that base for you when you start doing your work.
That's trying to remove the little bit of hazing that you can sometimes see.
I'm not even sure if it's that much. It's really minimal. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Because to my mind, a wash with a polish in it is a scary concept. So we'll have to.
Yeah. Maybe view it more like an aggressive wash than a watered down polish. Like it's got a little bit of grit in it, that one there. So you wouldn't use it all the time, but before you go out and you do all your polishing on your car and your sealants or waxes or whatever,
so
that'd be a good one to start with.
More like a nice exfoliating face scrub.
The similarities between this industry and the what do you call it? Skincare, the beauty industry is very close.
Yeah, they say beauty's only paint deep.
Yeah. There you go.
Now these products you've got over on the right are the ones that really interested me, and I know one for sure is one of my favourite products.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I think I know which one you're talking about.
In the world. It's actually one that I think I've done a video on in the past.
Ah, cool. Yep.
Yep. And I think it blows a lot of very expensive products out of the water.
Talking about this one?
Yeah.
Over here.
That's the Maguire's plastic. So you seem a bit of a Maguire's fan from what I'm seeing.
I've got a mixture, yeah. So certainly I've got a bit of binder, a bit of Fireball. I've got a fair bit of Maguire's. I've got some Bowdens, a touch of Soft 99, a couple of Mothers. So yeah, it's a mix.
Yeah.
But when it comes to polish, I do like Maguire's, yeah.
Well, Maguire's a very trusted name as well. But the plastics in particular, how long have you had that bottle?
A lot of these bottles are pretty old. You can see it's fading.
Well, that's what I love about the plastics polish in particular. It's really good for headlights and really anything that's kind of plastic and faded.
Mm-hmm.
I think it says you can use it on bumpers, but I don't really buy that so much.
Without paint?
Without paint. So you're talking about the...
like a grey or black plastic bumper.
Have you tried it on them?
Not on a bumper, but interior panels of a car. So say, for example, you've taken something out of a car, you've gashed the plastic, and you just want to tidy it up that little bit, it's good for that.
Oh, really?
Yep, absolutely.
Because I've only ever had the excuse to use it on headlights so far, and
perfect for headlights.
It really blows everything out.
Yep.
And I see a lot of people recommending or using the buffing type headlight cleaners.
Yep. There's so much out there. Everyone's got their finger in that pie.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I have a problem with the buffing type headlight restoration kits in particular. Is that the clear coat that you get with them?
Yep.
A lot of people don't seem to get the clear coat to bind properly to the headlight.
Oh, okay.
Which means sort of in 6 or 12 months, you've got a flaky clear coat on the headlight.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I like the plastics in particular is it gets you about 70-80% of the way there. And it doesn't have any of the clear coats or any of the sanding, so you don't end up with any hazing in it or anything like that. And it's a third of the cost of most stuff.
Yeah, because it's just the polish on its own. I mean, and it's useful. It's not just headlights. It's those other plastics. You can use it to tidy up scratches. So it's multi-purpose.
And like Matt was saying, he's probably had that bottle for 3-4 years now. And
yeah.
I've got to say, there's still at least a third in there. So
yeah, and with the headlight, so you're polishing it back, and it looks good, and that's really the way to do it. But over time, the sun's going to get to it, and you're going to have to do it again.
Yeah.
So the protection thing, I still believe in, but maybe there are some that are not equal to others.
Yeah, I think that might be something that I'll have to do a bit more testing on, and there is a market for it, but I think the people that need the restoration kits, their headlights are a lot more further gone than most others, and that really is a case for buffing it back with a proper sanding pad.
Yep.
But they have a big set of instructions on the back of those restoration kits, and I don't think a lot of people are actually...
Oh, have you smelt some of them?
Not yet.
Ooh, yeah, there's some pretty strong chemicals in there.
Yeah.
Yep. Sure. Oh, well, that's a good one. And then we've got a couple others over here. This one here is actually my favourite of all these products. So this is a glass polish by Autoglim, and for me, there's nothing better than hopping in a car and just having perfect vision.
Yep.
So a good time to do this is when you change your wipers over.
Yep.
So if you get a nice, perfectly clean glass for the wipers to work on, they're going to last longer and they're going to do a better job.
Actually, I really like that as an idea. And how long does it take you to do your windshield normally with that?
No, not long. I just get one of those little fitments that you put on your drill.
Yep.
And just whiz it up and down.
Awesome.
And do it that way.
I've been meaning to try a glass polish on a couple of things around and about up until recently.
Yours.
But we might have to do a little video and see how it brings up the ute, because that's got, like we were saying last time, about 330,000 K's worth of stone chips.
Oh yeah, yep.
And before I replace it,
I ain't gonna fix stone chips, but
maybe we can see how much of an improvement we can get with just some polish.
Yeah. Feel the glass first, then do that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
And like, if you don't have time to polish your glass when you change your wipers, at least give it a clean with some glass cleaner.
Yeah.
That's a hot tip, because you've got a little bit of grit on your glass or something like that. You put your wipers on it, it's just gonna cut a channel into that wiper.
Yep. Actually, that's one of our biggest recommendations to vehicle owners when we see them as well, is if you've got really kind of starting to get bad wipers, make sure you wipe off the wiper blade as well, because they get absolutely embedded with the dust and the road grit, and they'll damage your windshield, they'll damage themselves, so you end up going through wipers a lot quicker than you would otherwise as well. And
you can see it on the glass. You got the wiper there, and then parked under a tree or whatever it might be, you've got all the crap collecting on the wiper itself, and it doesn't have too much of a good chance to escape from there. I know water goes on it and then it goes up in different angles, but nothing's quite the same as you just running maybe a damp cloth over it or something like that just to clean it off.
Yep, just a really soft bit of Windex on a rag is perfect, but anything to help get a little bit longer out of a set of wipers.
Absolutely, yeah. No, it's didn't even see that coming up, but it's a good point, isn't it? So, Yeah. Oh, that's good. And then the other ones we've got here. This is a metal polish. So plastic polish, glass polish, metal polish. They're all your hard, more aggressive polishes.
Seems like there's a polish for just about everything.
Yeah. I'm not sure how different they are from each other as well, but
I do think that in particular, the metal polish is going to be a very, very different type of compound, and it's not the product that I've used in the past, but I have used plenty of metal polishes in the past, and it's pretty amazing what you can do with a little bit of metal polish, especially if you've got a daggy exhaust tip or something like that.
Yep, it's so satisfying.
Yep. Those little things make an old car just look fresh again.
Oh yeah. Yep. Perfect for the old cars.
Yep.
Looks fantastic. And then I think this is the last one I've got. So this here, okay, so when you're detailing a car, there's a million steps. It can take you 2 days. If you want to put that time into it, it can take you as long as what you want.
Yeah, you can never get the last percent, so I hear.
Yeah, that's right. It's diminishing returns. But if you want to do nice, quick and easy, then you've got your multiple in one product. So this is a 3-in-1 ceramic polish and coat by Mothers, their CMX range. And this one here, so it'll do a bit of polishing. And it will also, I'm trying to work out what the three are, but for me what stands are paint correction, primer, polish. Okay, so that one there, it's just like a wash and wax, right?
Yeah.
It's not a wash and wax, a polish and wax.
Yeah.
Polish, prime, wax. So it puts a ceramic coating on, it lasts a long time because it's ceramic, and it's quick.
Well, yeah, and a lot of people are time poor nowadays, and especially being in a lot of people being in unit blocks and apartment blocks now with a single shared wash bay. Something like that where you can just go over it. Yep. Might be a really...
couple of hours.
Yep.
That with with your pad or your polisher or whatever you're using, and you knock a car off in a couple of hours.
Yep. And then being a ceramic, it's also going to be really good dust protection. If you're going to be in an apartment building, I've been in a lot of underground car parks being a mobile mechanic. Yep. The amount of dust that sits on cars, if you can find any way to just hose that off instead of washing it off and embedding it in the paint, so anything that's ceramic, that's probably a good tick in my books.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. No, good product, easy to use. Nice.
Yeah. Now we were going to talk about the WD-40 and the Shifty Bastard. As well, but WD-40 and Shifty Bastard, I'm not entirely sure if there's too much of a difference here. I was thinking that the Shifty Bastard might be a bit more of a lubricating product than the WD, but we did have a look on Newland's site and there wasn't too much information, so we might have to leave.
We might cycle back to that one. Yeah, put it on hold.
Yeah, and we might try and get a couple of different lubricating products next time.
Yeah. Some great ones in the inox range.
Yep.
That'd be good to look at. Yeah.
And it'll be interesting to look at the difference between WD, a tried and tested favourite, and inox as far as rust protection as well.
Yep, for sure. Yep, absolutely. All right. Well, on that note, I don't think there's anything else that we need to cover.
Yeah, I think we should get out of here.
Okay. All right. You're off to work.
Yep, I've got some stuff to do and a bath and a timing belt.
Beautiful. And I'm going to throw on a floral t-shirt and go do weekend things.
Yep. All right, well, hopefully we'll see you next time.
Okay, cool. Catch you guys.